Hi guys, welcome to this week's video where we are talking about the Barbie movie. So we are mother and daughter. Millie is 15, I'm 35 and I'm 21 again, definitely.
Again.
We wanted to see this movie together because first of all, social media created such a hype. You told me that people dress up in pink, go to the cinema and say hi Barbie to each other.
Hi Barbie, thank you.
Yeah, and I've literally seen all of my social media covered in Barbie posts, everybody bigging up the hype, premieres, pop-up shops with like boxes that you get inside, take selfies. The marketing for this movie was ridiculously above and beyond anything I've seen this year, quite easily. So I was really looking forward to it. You also hear the whispers on the ground of content in this movie that is really thought-provoking, and it was the Barbenheimer of something that is life-changing. You look at Oppenheimer was how the world could have ended with one man's decision, one man's creation, versus how women are perceived, treated and live in today's society. So they were really poignant films of this year that divided opinion, loved Oppenheimer and was really looking forward to seeing Barbie to see what the other side of this coin was about. At one point I actually wanted to clap during the movie and I leant over to you and was like, I really want to clap, but nobody's clapping, and it was deadly silent throughout. Some people did laugh at a few points, I think, but there was one speech that really got to me. So the girl that plays Ugly Betty is a character in the movie who plays a mum who feels really down and feels like she can't match up to a Barbie doll. She feels quite dark, depressive thoughts about her appearance, her life, her teenage daughter, not accepting or liking her as a mother, and she does this speech, which I was like, yes. Yes. Do you know what it felt like to me? If you're watching like a baseball match and someone bowls the ball and they're about to hit, but then they just don't go for the shot. That's how that movie felt for me, unfortunately. It's the feeling of you had it all set up, it was going, but then you shut it down. And I just wanted more from it. Really, really wanted more. I understand when you have an audience, it's a 12A, so it's young children can go with their parents. You can't appeal, in my opinion, to a 9-year-old and a 39-year-old in the same way in the same movie. All these different aspects that you bring into it, that's going to be lost on a child. And if you make it lighthearted and fun and giggly and girly and bubblegum, that may be lost on an adult. So in my opinion, they should have had 2 Barbie movies. The first directed at children with a positive influence on self-acceptance, and the second, just like Margot Robbie is amazing at doing in Suicide Squad, is letting out the grit, the reality, that kind of, oh my God, I've had a bad day, but I'm gonna show it, you know? Going off the rails, being true to what life is about. You see this perfect squeaky clean image of Barbie, and then you have Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, you know, in a movie, you know what she's capable of. I really felt that they were going to use this opportunity to unleash that reality of, God, I've had a bad day, but I don't care. They did in a very bubblegum way, but it could have gone a lot deeper, and my hairs were going up, but then they flopped because I just feel like they failed to deliver. For me personally, I wanted something deeper. How about you? It was good.
Yeah, it was good. I think there's the movie brought up like a lot of things, like in like small doses, specifically looking into like harassment and like work opportunities and inequality. But I think there's a lot of things people would have looked past. I know there was a lot of talk about how you could see when Ken returned from the real world and Barbie returned and he'd taken over. You then saw that when he looked at her, he didn't look at her like she was an equal. He actually looked down at her chest while she was talking instead of actually looking at her. And that was a big thing that people brought up. because you could see the change when it happened, when Ken was exposed to those outside world
influences. The real world of how society is.
Yeah.
As mother and daughter, we walk down the street together all the time, and you see how people react to me. Obviously, I'm in pink now for the Barbie movie. I live most days, 90% of the time, in baggy clothes. I don't wear makeup. You know, I walk around frizzy hair, baggy clothes, and I kind of try not to stand out. A few years ago, being a glamour model, I would have worn bright clothes, neon clothes, lycra, but the attention you receive is so full on, it's so unwelcome, and it's very invasive. And I think a lot of women glare at other women, insult other women's appearances, feel that they are in competition with. And when you look at Barbie as a whole, it's the tall, long, leggy blonde, blue eyes, slim perfection. How do you think that has influenced society by showing us this perfect woman?
Well, it's certainly put up like a conscious image for women and what they're supposed to look like, how they're supposed to act, what they're supposed to wear. It certainly puts on like a massive stereotype and like unreachable like
Perfection.
goals. Like you can't reach that in like every day. No one does actually look like that. There's always imperfections that make humans perfect, because perfection doesn't really exist. But speaking of that, when it was women judge other women, that's like a quote from the movie where it was women hate women and men hate women. It's the only thing they can agree on.
Yeah, it's so true. And something that I personally saw for myself, when I had you, I was a single mum, working out from home, training, studying, trying to give us a good life. When I was struggling and suffering and building myself up, women supported me, and they said, I see how hard you try. You know, you are doing breastfeeding at night, and then first thing in the morning you're working out, and then you're going to work, and then you're coming home and you're reading and studying. And they were like, you are amazing, keep going, you're incredible, you're an inspiration. As soon as I then got into shape, in feeling good about myself, as soon as I looked nice, wore makeup, had the qualifications, got the status, women said, who do you think you are? Like, they said, you're bragging, you're showing off, you are showing this false ideal of reality. Nobody is perfect. You are making us feel bad for not working out, for not studying, for not being beautiful enough. And then I was accused of being a bad influence. It's, well, you're making young girls believe that you have to have blonde hair, blue eyes, be tall and slim, or you're not beautiful. And I was like, well, hold on. If you look at Barbie, this is a doll that was celebrated for being beautiful. And now they've created all these dolls of different colours, skin tones, eye colour, hair colour, body shapes. They have 4 different body shapes. And they're trying to show real people. Instead of saying there's one size fits all for beauty, will women stop attacking women? Will women stop judging each other's appearance? And are we as women only trying to look good to impress and be better than other women?
Yeah, I think to an extent it is always because women are oppressed. And there is that natural, like, subconscious thought that you want to prove that you're better, even if you drag down other people to get to it. It's
dog eat dog or cat eat cat. And I know for a fact, as a woman, if you get hair extensions or you have your nails done, a man may not notice. They'll think, have you changed your hair? You've gone from blonde to brunette. Have you done something? You're wearing something different? Whereas a girl will say, oh my God, I love your hair. Is this yours? How much do you pay for it? Is it micro rings? Is it taped? Or they'll say about your nails, oh, did you get ombre? Girls notice these things. Guys really don't pay that much attention or care that much. They see the overall package rather than the finer details. And I feel like women can be really attacked for that. And it is a case of women playing off against other women, which is really sad. But the fact that Barbie has grown with the times, it has introduced different types of Barbie dolls, I think is a positive step forwards, but they could have taken that further. The message at the end of the video was be you. Do you feel that people know how to be themselves?
No. You certainly have to do a lot of exploring and experimenting to actually find out what's your thing.
Yeah.
I know that people my age, some of us have no clue what's going on, what we're going to do in the future, what we want to pursue for education.
So much pressure is put on people of all ages, whether you're young or old, whether you're deemed beautiful or unique. But we shouldn't judge ourselves based on these perfect ideals. And likewise, if you do want to pursue those ideals, if you do say, I want to be as healthy looking as possible, like Ken on the beach, I want a six-pack, I want to have nice hair and nice teeth, you can achieve that, whether that's naturally or aesthetically or surgically. We do have that choice over our appearance now that past generations, it wasn't available. You couldn't just go to a clinic down the road and change eye colours with contact lenses or change your hair colour at the salon because maybe you could only have a haircut. So we do have freedom of choice, but is that necessarily a good thing? Does it allow us to make the wrong choices? Does it allow us to have regrets that actually we are changing ourselves to please others, but what we really needed was to embrace what we naturally have? How do you feel about how people now change themselves these days? Do you feel it's for themselves, or is it to attract and please others because they think that's what they should look like?
I mean, there's like a big difference because like obviously like you'll see like people with like piercings and tattoos, they do that for themselves the vast majority of the time.
Yeah.
Whereas people who go more into aesthetics, where they get plastic surgery, that may also be for themselves because they feel slightly lesser for not looking a certain way, but then it then ultimately does impact the way people think about them and how they see them and how they perceive them. So
yeah.
It's a mix of the two. It really depends on the person, but I think always to an extent it is trying to feel normal or looking a certain way.
Yeah. And do you feel that now that this movie has come out, it will change how children think and feel, how adults think and feel, teenagers, or was it not enough of an explanation for what to do next? Be you, but how do you get there?
I think it will definitely bring up a lot of problems, specifically with adults and stuff. I know there's been like a lot of social media coverage of men being like, I never understood how difficult it was to be like a woman.
That's really good.
So that's really good. But then also I think they did obviously it was quite difficult to mix in between such like political themes with a children's movie. So obviously, and also the children we saw there wasn't necessarily teenagers, it was like 9-year-olds.
Yeah, so they would not have picked up on that.
They wouldn't have picked up on that.
Lost.
Yeah, so it definitely wouldn't impact children, but I think it brings up so many like things that happen in everyday life for women. And it will definitely bring up conversations that might not have been had before.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it was a good starting point, but like I say, they threw the ball, they're about to take the shot, and they just didn't swing. Had they age restricted that to a 15, perhaps, or even to a 12, so it just wasn't targeted at young girls, like little girls at school, I think they could have done so much more thoughtful things with that. I would love to have seen Margot Robbie be completely free with her expressions and the way that we know her to be as an actress. That speech where I wanted to clap, and everybody just sat there stone-faced staring at the screen. I was like, are you hearing these words? Are you getting hyped? But you know, that's just the people that were around us. Maybe other people in the audience really took that and got excited about that, but I personally didn't see that. I asked you as a task to choose a Barbie doll because they're showing that Barbies can be paramedics, doctors, lawyers. Barbies can be anything. Women can be anything. You chose one for me and I chose one for you that I think closely represents you based on the Barbies that are available. Now, maybe there's billions available and I just can't find them on the internet. But from the ones that I found, these are the ones that we've chosen for each other. So I don't know what you've chosen, you don't know what I've chosen. Hopefully you've been kind to me. But the one that I thought best represented you is this Barbie.
Right. Why?
This is Supergirl Barbie.
Yep.
And you are like a superhero. Everything you turn your hand to, whether you've ever tried it before or not, you go and conquer it. 100% effort, achievement, success. You see failure as an opportunity to learn, which is very inspiring, and I'm so pleased about that. Whether you have no experience of it, you go and look it up, you figure it out, and then you achieve it and you win. And that's really, really inspiring. It's a superpower. So the Barbie that I think most represents you is Supergirl. What did you pick for me?
Well, it doesn't have a name that I'm aware of, but it's just called Barbie Doll. But I thought that it represented you because it had your red hair, which you had
I used to love
for a
my red
while.
hair.
Yeah. And they're doing the tree pose.
Look at yoga Barbie.
Yeah.
Have a look.
Yeah, it's a yoga Barbie.
Oh!
So, and also
That's actually really
wearing
cute.
like the
Colours that I
you
like.
wear.
Yeah, pink and yellow. That's actually really cute. So there are ones that we can pick out on and see more similarities in Barbie dolls now. So it's not just the tall, leggy blonde wearing pink. That's encouraging to see. So I hope you've enjoyed us sharing our thoughts on the Barbie movie. I did enjoy it. I just wanted it to be more adult and more thought-provoking. I felt like they could just take that a little bit further to really add grittiness to it, to make your hair stand on end. Your final closing thoughts on the Barbie movie?
I think it may not have been everything that people expected, but it still brought up things, even like minorly, and it will have a big impact.
Yeah, small change is still change. It's in the right direction. So if you have been to see Barbie, or if you're thinking of going, please share your thoughts, your feelings, your findings, and your feedback in the comments section below. We would love to hear what you think of it. Did it live up to the hype for you? Did it leave you feeling inspired? Until next time, guys, thank you for joining us. Take care of yourself, be kind to yourself and others, and we will see you all soon.